Happy Wednesday, Flosstube. Hello, crafty friends. It is Wednesday, April 29th, and I mentioned yesterday, today I need to keep my chatting in check today. I have to be brief because I have a date with a birthday boy to watch Lost in Space at lunchtime today, and he's fitting me in his busy schedule of new video game and watching television. So usually on the kids' birthdays, it is, I mean, unless they are going to school during the day, they have the option of doing whatever they wish on their birthday. They get the day off. And since we're in a little bit of a different time and he's at home, today it's like a weekend day and he gets to do whatever he wants today. So at lunchtime, we're going to, he has requested craft dinner and hot dogs for lunch. So that is the gourmet meal that I will be making for him, and Lost in Space together. So that'll be fun. My name's Caroline. I live in London, Ontario, Canada, and this is mostly a channel about cross stitch. And lately I'm doing daily crafty chat update videos. My son Nicholas, it's his birthday today. He is turning 12. And normally I don't share him. He doesn't usually come on camera for these videos. Sometimes his voice, sometimes he'll tell me a joke, or you'll hear his voice, but I don't show him. However, his baby picture, I mean, I guess he was, how old was he? Maybe 2. He is my little avatar picture. So the little boy that you see. One of these days I'll show you the whole picture because it's one of my absolutely favorite pictures of period. It's a favorite picture because he's clutching his belly with both hands and he's laughing. So it's like this belly laugh, and I caught him mid belly laugh, and so that photo, my avatar on the channel, that is his face during this moment that I captured him. And so that was him as a baby, and so I don't mind sharing the odd photo of him as a baby because he doesn't look like that anymore. I mean, I see traces of baby Nicholas in the boy that he is now, but he doesn't look like that anymore. So I actually found this photo this morning. This was Nicholas when he was 6 months old, and again, this is a favorite photo of the two of us. And that's my little boy when he was a baby, 6 months old. So he doesn't look like that anymore. But today, on his birthday, I marvel at the boy he's turning into. And I'm very proud of him. And he's turning out to be a little bit of all right, as my mother-in-law used to say. A little bit of all right. Okay, stitching chat. I have a couple of things to share with you today. And first off is my thread and eye mandala, the ink circles. Ink Circles is the designer. It's called the Thread and Eye Mandala. And I've changed out a certain color from pinks to mustards, and I put in a few more lengths this morning with my coffee. So I've now completed this motif at the bottom here. I've started it's brown. I thought it was greens in here in the very center, but it is browns. And so I've started the dark brown there. Did a little more fill-in of, I still had floss loaded on the needle, so I like to complete the length of floss if I can find another space to take the needle to and fill it in. So, it's just like stained glass. It's just like filling, it's like the best adult coloring book you could imagine. I am loving it. And if I did another mandala design like this, I would do exactly the same thing again. I would do all of the black first and then do the fill-in, provided the fill-in was a darker color. If the fill-in was a lighter color, then I probably would do the whites and light colors first and then the black. There's two schools of thought. I think some people like to do the black first with light colors and then do the light colors because they find that pulling the black through catches the white fibers. But I find that for me, I prefer the other way around, because I find that the white floss, the white thread, catches the black fibers, and it makes it seem a little bit less crisp, less, a little, I don't know, a little muddied. That's probably too strong a word. It doesn't mean, it's probably only me that can really tell, but just a little quirk. I like to do the white stitches first and then the black. So that's my progress on the mandala, and I will probably put a few more links of thread into that later this evening while we're watching a movie with Nicholas. The other piece is the Glendon Place Hope and Strength that I introduced from Cheryl at Glendon Place. She released it in her newsletter last week, and so it wasn't a big surprise or anything, but she sent me the supplies to stitch it, and I'm hopeful that there are those of you out there who would like to stitch it with me. You can find the pattern as a free PDF download on her website, and she carries the supplies, but you can, you know, pick stuff from your stash if you want to join in and stitch it with me. So all I have is the chart. Now it is a free PDF, so I don't mind sharing it, but you can download it from her website. The link will be in the drop-down box below. So at the end of the day, all you need is hope and strength, hope that it will get better, and strength to hold on until it does. It's a beautiful chart, and you know, clearly motivation that's needed for these particular times. And I have a start on it, so I've loaded it onto this is a Kay's Creations lap frame with, it's one of the older style ones. The newer ones have a tray in the front, and these are tension rods, so you can adjust the tension a little bit more. So I loaded the fabric onto I actually had an empty set of rods, and not only did I find one empty set of rods, I found 2 empty sets of rods. And I know you all know what I'm thinking. Can't have an empty set of scroll rods. Whatever shall I do? So I loaded it on. It is the most beautiful fabric. This is picture this plus. It's a 32 count linen, and it is the jade colorway. And you are getting a much better color representation of this fabric today than yesterday. It's absolutely beautiful. Beautiful fabric. Really, really nice. And so you can see my start in the middle, I started with the word strength. I know, I never start in the middle of a piece, ever. So I am now making a liar of myself because I started in the middle. I just thought it would be easier because there is one of the I love stitching borders, and I really wanted to stitch with the border, but there's a thread in the border that I don't have, and actually Cheryl has popped it in the mail to me because she changed her mind. When she originally charted it, she charted one section of the border to have a bead, and then she changed her mind when she was doing the actual stitching of it herself, and so she has changed it to a it's a metallic. Off the top of my head I can't remember the name of it, but it's on its way. And so I thought, let's start in the middle with all the cross stitch, and then, because I will be saving the beading until the very end, because I don't like the beads to you know, make marks in the fabric as I'm stitching, so I want to be able to roll it up and down as I do the stitching, and the beads, I will do all the beads last, which is the same for my other Glendon Place that I'm working on, which is Tiramisu from the dessert series. And I really need to get back to that. It's so beautiful. And I'll be saving the beads till last for that too. So I'm going to continue stitching on this tonight, and you know, I know I have many viewers from all over the world. Many of you don't live in Canada, and in fact I was avoiding the news yesterday, and so I didn't hear about some Canadian news until last night when a fellow Canadian posted on her Instagram feed This is at Tamara Hunt, and Tamara lives out in Alberta, northern Alberta. And so I had no idea this was even happening. This started on Sunday. Fort McMurray and Fort Vermilion are currently undergoing massive flooding due to ice jams in the rivers. Two main rivers, and we're talking kilometers of ice jam. And there, what was it? It was like 13,000 people have had to be evacuated from Fort McMurray. Back in 2016, Fort McMurray went through unimaginable, catastrophic fires. And you know, here we are 4 years later, and now this ice jam situation is, they're describing it as it's one of those natural disasters that happen like once every 100 years. And on top of a global pandemic, now northern Alberta is having to deal with, you know, having to evacuate thousands and thousands of people, and on top of a pandemic, and you know, just when they're a few years after recovering from these intense fires. It is really, I am going to be stitching this piece today and thinking all of my positive, warm thoughts, sending them towards northern Alberta, because apparently what they hope for is that the ice needs to melt fast. They've looked at all different kinds of ways of how to break up this ice, and what they really need for it to happen is they need it to warm up and they need it to melt fast, and that's going to be apparently the best way. Now, I don't live there. I'm not from northern Alberta. This is just what I've read in the news, but my thoughts are with you. And I know we have crafters, we have stitchers who live in northern Alberta. Many of it's just one more thing. I mean, 2020, we are, is 2020 over yet? Is it December? Are we ready for 2021? I think we're all getting to that point where, you know, okay, so hope and strength, you know, I'm working on this piece today, and I'm sending all my thoughts towards northern Alberta. And everybody out there, please stay safe, and stay safe. And I'm gonna put in a little bit of a few more pictures that I was lucky enough to receive yesterday from stitchers who are joining along with me and picking a project to stitch on while they visit with me every day. And thank you again for emailing me your photos and your words and your kindness. And I will add a few more of those into the end of the video today. Some music, and any that I don't get to today, I'll make sure that I put them in tomorrow. And I hope you're enjoying them, because I'm certainly enjoying receiving them. So keep them coming if you have decided to work on a certain project while we visit together. I'd love to see it, and I'd love to share it. Okay, so that's it for me. I have to go and put my apron on and make some craft dinner and hot dogs for the birthday boy, and get set up for a lunchtime viewing of Lost in Space. That's my lunchtime today. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy stitching, and take care of yourself. I'll see you tomorrow.